Having come to Israel now this is the 44th year of my coming, and I've been here many times a year over the 44 years that I first came as a teenager. By the way, let me make sure you know that.
Really?
Because I didn't want you to think I'm that old.
Okay.
I first came when I was 17, and I've been coming ever since. And this is such a remarkable country, and I've brought thousands and thousands of people to this country. I never get tired of it, and there's something extraordinary about not only the land of Israel, but about the special relationship that Israel and the United States have.
Right.
And I want to do everything I can to make sure people understand why that relationship exists, why it is strategically valuable to both nations, and what we must do to preserve it.
So, again, thank you so much. There isn't enough thanks because there's so many people out there in the world who do not understand the basics ABC, which I believe is just logical that you get. So thank you for that. Thank you for coming here. But I want to take you back. Where does this come from, Governor Huckabee? Where does your support for Israel and the Jewish people come from?
Well, there's two parts of it, one of which is my own experience. The experience of having come here over and over and seeing firsthand what a lot of people don't get because they don't get perception, they don't have an understanding of Israel, its unique position geographically, militarily, historically, and biblically. So part of it is just the life experience and the fact that I believe that truth ought to overcome darkness.
Amen.
Regardless.
Right.
And if Israel's wrong, let's say it. But if they're right, let's be bold about it. But the other comes from a faith perspective. I'm not Jewish, I'm Christian. And as I've told many of my Jewish friends who say, how come Christians are so very supportive of Israel? Because there's not a greater group of supporters of Israel than among the evangelicals in the United States. And I say, look, it's as simple as this. It's possible to be Jewish and have nothing to do with Christians. You cannot be Christian and not have everything to do with Judaism.
Interesting.
Because everything that's in the Old Testament we embrace and believe.
Right.
So I grow up understanding that Israel is not just another country.
Right.
And that the land is not just a piece of real estate.
Right.
That God gave the title deed to Abraham 4,000 years ago. Jerusalem is not just another city in the world.
Right.
It's a city that was uniquely the capital for the Jewish state. The only people for whom Jerusalem has ever been a capital have been the Jews. Right. And when I hear people use words like occupation, I think, yeah, this has been occupied before. Occupied by the Babylonians, the Assyrians, by the Turks, by the Brits. It's been occupied by the Assyrians and many people, by the Romans. But when it relates to the Jews, it's not occupied, it's owned. Right. This is ownership, not occupation. Right. So there are many things for me that are both a historic and political reality, and then my faith perspective also reminds me that God never breaks a promise. And he said those who bless Israel will be blessed. Those who curse Israel will be cursed. I don't think that that's something that has disappeared. I think that's still true. To be with you.
It is unbelievable being with you. First of all, I interviewed you last. I want to show this to you. My pinned tweet on Twitter is a picture of the two of us when I interviewed you back in January of 2017, or March of 2017.
Okay.
So I remember our last interview, so it's wonderful having the opportunity again. And first thing I'd love to start out with is I interviewed you at the beginning of the Trump presidency, and here we are fairly into it.
Yeah.
Love to hear your overall thoughts.
I would say the crown jewel is that he has completely revived an American-Israeli relationship. And there are many people who didn't like Trump, didn't believe he would be a positive leader. But if they're pro-Israel and they don't appreciate this president, then they're irrational, and there's no explanation for their view. Because here is a president who not only has a warm, wonderful relationship with the prime minister, unlike the previous administration that had a very frosty relationship. This is a president who said he was going to move the embassy, but every other president did, so nobody believed it would happen. But he did it. And when I personally asked him, as close as you and I are to each other, why did you do it? He said, I promised I would do it, and it's the right thing to do. I found that refreshing.
Here I am blessed, 1, to be in the Holy Land, 2, to be at a rally for Netanyahu, 3, to be with Governor Mike Huckabee. Again, it is a pleasure, Governor.
Thank you. Great to be again with you in Israel.
It is always a pleasure. So what brings you to Israel now, and why here at this rally?
Well, I'm leading a group of about 350 Americans all over Israel, turning them into volunteer ambassadors for the state of Israel when they go back home. And the Prime Minister heard I was in the country, asked me to come and speak for him and introduce him at the rally tonight. So how do you say no to a friend?
Hey, I want to tell you what a thrill and joy it is for me to be here tonight with all of you. I don't get to vote in the election next Monday. I'm not an Israeli. But I'm going to tell you, if one of you come here tonight undecided, would you just hand me your ballot? I can take care of that for you, because I know full well who I would vote for if I were voting in next week's election. I would be voting for Benjamin Netanyahu to be reelected as Prime Minister of this great nation. Let me tell you why. Your Prime Minister is not just a leader of your country. He certainly is that. He is a leader of the world, a world-class leader at a time when there aren't enough of them. Prime Minister Netanyahu is a Churchill in a world filled with Chamberlains, and we need Churchills today with courage and conviction.
That's it for today's special Pulse of Israel program, when you get a daily, belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect truth about Israel, the Jewish people, and the freedom-loving world. If you are not yet a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe today. And yes, we are a donor-based operation. We're heavily censored across all the social media platforms. It's thanks to your support, large donations or small donations, that we're able to do our work. And we have so much work to be done, so much truth to inspire people with, especially the Jews. And it's thanks to your donations. So every once in a while, just click on the donate button on pulseofisrael.com. Shalom, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.